The Cube is a British game show which first aired on ITV on August 22, 2009. Presented by Phillip Schofield, it offers contestants the chance to win a top prize of £250,000 by completing challenges from within a 4M Perspex cube. It is based on the idea that even straightforward tasks become extremely challenging when confined and put under pressure inside a small, enclosed area while surrounded by a large live studio audience. Once inside, contestants can feel both claustrophobic and disorientated, affecting their concentration and abilities. Using state-of-the-art filming techniques, the show aims to demonstrate the intense anxiety which contestants undergo as they progress through each task. The challenges involve catching, throwing, estimating, reacting, memorizing, balancing, etc. Colin McFarlane provides the disembodied voice of the cube, who explains the rules of the games. Format: the game is played by a single contestant in a 4M Perspex transparent cube. The object of the game is to complete as many of 7 games, each of which worth an increasing amount of prize money, inside the cube as possible before failing an attempt 9 times in total. Each game is pre-selected for the contestant before the show to suit their difficulty and can test a contestant's mental agility, physical ability, intelligence, observation or response. Each episode usually consists of 2 contestants' games. Each contestant begins with 9 lives. Each time a contestant makes an unsuccessful attempt at a game, 1 life is lost. The contestant must repeat the game until they are successful or run out of lives. Any contestant who runs out of lives is said to be defeated by the cube and loses all money accumulated, with the exception of celebrities. After a contestant succeeds in a game, they are able to see a preview of what their next challenge is and can choose to leave with their prize money or play the next game to win a larger sum of money. During a preview, the name of a challenge is revealed and its rules are then explained by the voiceover. They are each physically demonstrated by the Body, a metal mask character described by Colin McFarlane in the original series as an expert at all games played within the cube. Her real name is currently unknown. Some games have specific restrictions to increase the difficulty of the game, which, if disobeyed, will immediately cost a life. For example, some of the games may only be played with one hand. Some have time limits, and some of these games feature stopwatches that are started and stopped by the contestant. Games that involve throwing or catching an object at a target usually have a red line the contestant must stand behind whilst playing the game. The 7th and final game is worth a jackpot of £250,000. Contestants who complete this game are said to have beaten the cube. It is a more difficult version of one of the 6 games a contestant previously played, and struggled to complete. Only one person has attempted, and completed, the 7th game, Runamo Farah, who appeared in a special episode of a celebrity series in 2012 where British gold medalists were the contestants. Contestants are given 2 lifelines, each of which can be used once only. The first is called Simplify, which makes a game considerably easier. It may be used before any attempt at a challenge and remains in effect until the contestant succeeds or fails the current challenge. Once the contestant completes their first game, the second lifeline is unlocked. This is called a trial run. The trial run allows them to play the game once without being penalized for losing or committing to playing the game before deciding whether to play or take the money. Phillip Schofield occasionally offers statistics to advise a player about whether to bank their money or continue gameplay. Family members and/or friends of the contestant watch on in the audience, sometimes providing assistance with making decisions and recommending techniques for the game. Filming: Objective Productions first approached Channel 4 in 2008 with the format. It was made into a non-televised pilot by the channel, and was hosted by Justin Lee Collins. Channel 4 eventually decided not to commission the show because it would have been too expensive. In February 2009, ITV purchased the rights to the show and filming began during April 2009 at Wembley's Fountain Studios. The Cube is one of the first shows to use the game freeze filming technique on a frequent basis, such as when a contestant jumps in celebration. The technique used is called time slice. Using specially designed cameras, it allows the viewer to see one side of the cube before the action is frozen, spun to another face of the cube and then resumed. Slow-motion shots are again common to show action replays of the task a contestant just completed, or the critical moment of a game, to heighten the excitement of whether the contestant will succeed or fail. The show makes extensive use of CGI to project images onto the walls and ceiling of the cube, while a screen on the floor is also capable of showing images. These film techniques make the seemingly simple tasks that are put before the contestants seem much more exciting than they would normally be. For Series 8, which premiered on March 1, 2014, the show received a revamp, including a new studio set, new opening credits, a redesign of graphics and several new games. The 7-game format and prize money structure remain the same. Transmissions. Prize money. Since the first episode, the Cube has had a prize money structure starting at a £1,000 and ending at the a £250,000 jackpot. Below is a breakdown of the prize money structure, showing the game number and amount of prize money that can be won for successfully completing that game. If a player loses all their lives at any point during the game, they lose all the money they have accumulated to that point. Text Santa Special on December 19, 2014, as part of the annual ITV Text Santa charity appeal, the Cube was played with a 2-player team. The format was adjusted and consisted of only 3 games worth a £1,000, a £50,000 and a £100,000. The players were given 5 lives and a simplify. Reception. Readers of GameShows.com named it the best new game show of 2009 in their Hall of Fame poll. Awards. International versions. The format has been successful with international broadcasters. As of 2015, 11 countries have produced their own versions of the show. Some are still broadcasting, some have ceased broadcasting, and in the case of the US version have not even been shown. Below is a breakdown of the countries that have created their own versions along with other information including the jackpot available and broadcast dates. Legend, currently airing, no longer airing, non-broadcast pilot. The UK version of The Cube is also currently being simulcast in Ireland by UTV Ireland. It is broadcast in New Zealand on TV1, and in Australia on the 9 network. Old series are broadcast in Bosnia and Herzegovina by RTRS, in Serbia by Ultra TV and in Singapore by MediaCorp Channel 5. Filming locations the German, Italian, Portuguese, Saudi Arabian, Spanish and the US pilot of The Cube were filmed at the Fountain Studios in London using the British set and games. Other international versions have created their own studio sets. The Chinese version of the show is filmed at the Zibai Gymnasium in Shanghai. The Ukrainian version of the show is filmed at the Antonov Serial Production Plant in Kiev. The Russian version of the show is filmed at the Ostankino Technical Center in Moscow. The Arabian version is filmed at the Dubai Studio City in Dubai, and the French version of the show is filmed in La Plaine Saint-Denis, near Paris. Top prize winners. Across all versions of the show, 6 contestants have won the final game and taken away the jackpot. Merchandise. An electronic board game based on the series was made available in stores from November 2010. As of June 2011, the game has been discontinued by most main retailers. The game comes with an electronic handheld system featuring games such as Time Freeze and Stop Zone, as well as 9 balls, 6 18mm blow-molded balls, 1 30mm EVA foam ball, 1 25mm hard ball and 1 50mm hard ball. The balls are used for different reasons, and the foam ball is used for most games with a ball. For Multisphere, all balls are used unless it is being played in a room with hard floors. In that case 8 balls are used. Tubes are used for almost every physical game for starting positions, voids, tubes, towers and columns. Other equipment in the board game are track pieces, discs, clips, Z-shaped platform pieces, cannons, blocks, a ball flipper, a beam and card pieces, and a 7 cm x 7 cm x 7 cm plastic cube for playing a series of physical games. The cube is used for a container and to connect onto the cube platform for the electronic games. A reducer also comes with the cube, allowing it to reduce the size of the open top of the cube. This is, in almost all games involving the cube, removed in a simplify. Many well-known and classic games are here as well as new games such as roller, catch, retrieval and bounce, everyday life games and interesting and complex games. Around the time of the release of the board game, a game app version of the series was made available via the iTunes Store for use on the iPod Touch, iPhone and iPad. This app version originally featured 16 games from the series: Balance, Cylinder, Descent, Drop Zone, Focus, Multisphere, Perimeter, Precision, Quantity, Reaction, Revolution, Shatter, Stabilize, Stop Zone and Time Freeze. The first update for the game came in April 2011 with Pulse added. Another update for the game was made available in June 2011, adding a further free game, Succession, and making 8 games available via in-app purchase in 2 packs: Exact, Pathfinder, Totalize and Tower in Pack 1 and Invert, Composure, Calculate and Navigate in Pack 2. A further update was made available in October 2011, adding a further free game. Access to further games followed in 2012, Eliminate in April and Symmetry in October. In February 2013, Chase, which at that time had not been shown on TV, was made available. Almost a year later, on February 21, 2014, Avoid was added. The most recent update came on May 19, 2014 when 4 new games were made available via in-app purchase. These new games were Reset, Plummet, Selection and Tally, all which are new games from the most recent series. There are currently 35 games available to play in the app version. On November 9, 2012, a Cube game was released on consoles for the first time. It was available on the Nintendo Wii, PlayStation 3 and Nintendo 3DS. 33 games are playable in this version, including 2 unseen new games, Flight Path and Retrace. If the cube is beaten, Extreme Mode is unlocked, featuring more extreme versions of 5 popular games: Revolution, Pathfinder, Perimeter, Rebound and Momentum. References. External links: The Cube on Twitter, The Cube at itv.com, The Cube at STVTV.